Hi, thank you for joining Famversations, the talk show for teens and young adults. We are joined every week with local and national professionals from Las Vegas and all over the United States. We will listen to their success stories and their challenges. Please sit back and enjoy Famversations. Hi, joining me today is Janiqua Whittington, who is the owner of All Shades of Beauty Supply. Join me. We're going to talk to her right now. She was raised by a grandmother and raised out of the foster care system at the age of 18. This amazing woman grew up in underprivileged communities and attended underserved schools. But her grandmother believed in giving her the very best of everything that she could. She graduated high school, went to school, and got her bachelor's of science, her bachelor's of science in accounting, and then pursued and got a medical assistance degree and ended up managing a medical office. She later opened and started her very own program for kids, and it's called No Children Left Hungry. In addition to starting the nonprofit, she also has opened up a beauty salon, All Shades of Beauty, right here at 5006 South Maryland Parkway. You got to come and check her out. Joining me today is Janiqua Whittington, who is the owner of All Shades of Beauty Supply. Join me. We're going to talk to her right now. So join me as we meet Janiqua Whittington.
You got it, you got it.
This fearless entrepreneur is an amazing person, and I can't wait till you guys get to know a lot about her. So we're going to start out by asking, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am 41, actually 42, my bad. I am a mother and a wife. I come from Los Angeles, born and raised. I've been here in Las Vegas for the 15 years. So Vegas is now my home. My children went to school here and graduated from Del Sol High School. So I am a mother who struggled just like every other mother. I'm a person who went through, like you said, I was raised up in foster care. So my granny raised us majority of her life. Up until my mother passing, and then we went to an aunt who raised us as well. I did get pregnant early on, as most teens does, so I did go to a group home called St. Anne's for teenage pregnant girls, which is where I finished my schooling for high school and where I had my son, and also where I graduated once I turned 18. So I had him 2 weeks before my 18th birthday. I had already finished all my classes, so they allowed me to be emancipated after I had my son. So from there, I went to work for Great Western Bank, where I received my banking certificate while at St. Anne's, pregnant. I was able to take some banking courses, so that allowed me to get my foot in the door of banking. So I worked there for Great Western, then came to Washington Mutual about 3.5, 4 years. And that's where I decided to go into school for accounting. Seeing just a lot of people not being educated on money and finance, and you have people investing in or putting all their money in savings accounts that draw no interest or 1% interest, and it was enough to be put into a money market or a CD to draw 3 or 5% interest. So I just seen that there was a need of education in our community, so it made me go to school.
So when you went to school, did you go to school for the with the purpose of educating others
I
about banking
did.
versus just a career in?
Correct. So my ultimate dream was to go to school and get the education so that I can come back and educate minorities and people like me on financial literacy.
Wow.
So that is another goal of mine for my nonprofit that I started here during the pandemic on May 20 of 2019
Mm-hmm.
when the pandemic hit. Um, I just seen a lot of people struggling once again, and it just made me sad. Um, I I was a member of a church because I had just lost my granny, and my granny raised us up in church. So once she passed, I kind of went into a little depression, I could
Of course.
kind of say. But all I can hear always say is, wear your Bible, go get your Bible, go pray,
Mm-hmm.
go read. Because whenever I was in trouble or down, I'd call her. That's what she would tell me.
Excellent.
Let's read, let's pray, wear your Bible. So now that she's gone, I still hear those same words. So it got me to go back to church. And then the pandemic hit, and then church doors were closed. So once the doors had closed, people were still hungry, not knowing, losing their jobs. Didn't Not everybody got the unemployment money as
Mm-hmm.
quickly as some others did. So people were struggling everywhere. And
So now you're talking about your new nonprofit.
now I'm
So,
talking
but
about,
before you get there, I want to ask you, like, what brought you to Las Vegas? Because I think you moved to Las Vegas
okay,
in 2007.
I
What
did.
made you come to Vegas?
In my family, boys go to jail or is dead by the time they're 10.
What?
Yeah. So just in my family and just in the neighborhood that grew up in, the average age was 10. So my son turned 10 January 24th of '07. March of '07, I was gone. So once I had talked to my dad and brothers and uncles, and they all was like, well, they start gang banging or doing things at 10. So 10 was the number to me.
Hmm.
So 10 was the time where I showed my son a different life than what he was already accustomed to, so he can know that there's something better.
Nice.
So at the time, I was actually a manager at Walmart, and I had already been working with Walmart for like 5, 6 years as a manager. So really, Vegas was really a fluke. I just was on their site looking at open positions. There was an open position for a manager here in Vegas. I'm in California, never thought that they would call me. So I was like, I'll apply. Left it, didn't think twice about it. But the manager called me 2 weeks later.
Wow.
And I said, well, I have to talk to my husband. I didn't even tell him I applied. I didn't think you guys were going to call me out of all the choices. He was like, well, you're the only one I picked. So when you come in, can you get here in 2 weeks?
Wow.
So I said, okay, well, I have to see if I can get out my apartment and get out of my lease. And sure enough, everybody let me out within the 2 weeks. So 2 weeks later, we're here.
So that was all kinds of things working simultaneously together because you wanted to get your son out of South Central
Yeah,
LA.
South
You
Central
wanted to
LA.
get a new start. And so all of this happened like around the same
All
time.
of it just fell into place.
So tell
Yeah.
me about some of your biggest challenges.
Some of my biggest challenges in life or just now?
So more on the professional side, like
Okay.
some of your biggest challenges you've had as a professional.
So my biggest challenges as a professional is time. Um, I'm a person that juggles 50 million things at once, so I really never have time. So time is very important to me now, um, because I noticed that also took away from me being home too. So From what I've learned from this pandemic is time is very important, but it's important that we spend the time with our children and family. So, and I think that's where we're lacking right now in the world. And I say that because they made it impossible for parents to be a working parent and a parent at home. You consume most of your day and time away from home. By the time you get home, it's night or you're drained to be able to do what you need to really do for your children. So time, I think I give credit to my husband who decided, we talked, had a discussion. I work a lot, but I also make enough to take care of us. But it was important that one of us be home with our children.
Nice.
So he made that sacrifice to be home and take care of our children.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So now in my career, that I find the hardest for me is for my nonprofit is having people to believe that I'm capable of doing what I'm doing on a continuous basis, to buy into what I'm doing to help me grow.
Perfect. So that's a great segue into, let's talk about your nonprofit. So you started to say that the church had a influence in you getting to where you are today. So tell me about why you started the nonprofit, why you thought that was important, and some of the things that you guys have accomplished.
So I started the nonprofit, like I said, because during the pandemic, people were struggling and didn't know how to feed or make ends meet. Me being a child that comes from the system, you learn how to survive and you learn how to eat and make ends meet. So it was nothing new for me. So it bothered me, and my church has started calling to check up on families, make sure you didn't need anything, help you if they could or whatnot. But it bothered me that the church's doors were closed, and this was the time, in my opinion, you can save us sinners you guys talk about like me. So if you guys want us to go to church and believe in what you guys are preaching, this is the time you show up and do his work. And
That's right.
I kept asking them and not getting a response. I just said, well, Lord, what is it that you want from me? What is it that I can do? So that night, after I prayed that prayer, he woke me up, and I had this nonprofit on my head. I had the name. I knew what our mission was going to be. He was like, it's going to be No Child Left Hungry. That was kind of taken, so I kind of changed it to No Children Left Hungry. He was like, you're going to feed them.
A tongue twister.
Yeah. He was like, you're going to feed them. You're going to get clothes. So he was like, go feed 25 families. So I did that. At this time, I was unemployed too. In the midst of that pandemic, I got unemployed as well. But I was one of the lucky ones. By the third time I was applying or doing my submission, I had already got everything.
Good.
So within 2 weeks, I had all this money that I was able to pay my rent up, buy a truck for the nonprofit so I could do the deliveries, and put money to the side. And so I did. So I ended up buying a deep freezer and adding an extra deep freezer in my home that was just for the nonprofit. I had a storage unit that was like a 5 by 6 room. So I bought storage racks and put in there and put food and pantry food in there.
You started a food pantry.
So I started a food pantry. And then my neighbor, he had found out what I was doing. So he ended up giving me his pantry, his storage unit, and I converted into a clothing jackets for clothing and jackets.
Oh.
So then I just start buying whatever, Lord, he would say, go to Walmart. I'd be like, why am I in Walmart? And sure enough, there'd be a rack of clothes or shoes on there for $1, $5. So I would just clean off the rack. I would just, I say, well, I have $150. So I would just go buy
Mhm.
$150 worth of shoes, clothes, and that's what I did. I was on food stamps. I didn't need food. So I spent the food stamps on the pantry.
Wow.
I just made sure I provided for my house and the rest I just gave away. Um, and I did that, and that's how I did it. And then, so after we passed the food out on Mother's Day, that was May 28th, our first day, me and my daughter. So we sat out in front of Twain and Cambridge at the 7-Eleven, and we sat in the parking lot and just gave out 25 meals. So it was whole chicken, vegetables,
Well, that's
rice,
very impressive.
beans, and we just sat in our car and gave it out until it was all gone. And then after that, the people were so grateful and happy. They kept asking me what church I was from. And I was like, it's not from a church. It's,
It's me. It's my
But
heart.
then I went home and I was like, that's good that they thought it was from a church and that they either seen it in me, or I said, well, because I always ask them, I don't want to be, I want to walk the walk and talk the talk.
Right.
I don't just want to talk the talk.
Right.
So I asked him to allow me to be able to reflect that. So once I got home, I realized they seen what it is that he had put into me. And that's why they kept thinking or asking me, was I from a church and what church? Which
Sounds
I did tell them my
It
church
sounds
name.
like have you heard that song by Mary Mary the God in Me? So
Yes,
that's
that's
what
my
that sounds like.
favorite
That sounds yeah, like
song.
what you see is the God in me.
Yes. So,
Nice.
and I just went home, and so I had asked him, well, what do you want me to do from here? And that's when I woke up and had this whole vision. So I opened my phone and I just start researching about nonprofit, what I had to do, about the politics of the children, how many, where our low income areas were, what is our poverty rate, how is our education system, where we stand in it. Um, and I just started doing a gang of research, and then so I had to put in a business plan. So I wrote out a business plan. So because he didn't let me off my church. So he kept having me keep calling my church. He was like, they're going to help you. And eventually they did open their doors. I actually had to go down there and talk with the pantry people, but they did eventually open their doors, and they did actually help me. That's how I ended up getting connected with Culinary Academy, is through my church. Um, so but that's my biggest thing. It's just people hear me and they love when I talk, but they say, well, how can only I do it? You can't do all that you're doing just
Okay.
with yourself. And I say, yeah, I don't. Everything I do is by the grace of God. I take no credit. I'm just a servant. He tells me what to do, and I just go and I follow. I say, but there's nothing that He gave me so far that I haven't been able to
I
accomplish.
love that.
So
So,
I
so tell me a little bit about. So you talked about your beginnings, your humble beginnings of where you've come and how you started the nonprofit and the wonderful work that you're doing here in Vegas. So tell me a little bit about some of your successes. Give me some of your
so
success stories.
So we feed on an average about anywhere from, and I'm fed as little as 3 families a week to 30 families a week. But I average on that basis anywhere from about 10 to 20 deliveries
And what are your
every
goals?
2 weeks. My goals.
Hmm.
So
With this program.
with this program, my ultimate goal is to have a building where I can teach financial literacy,
Nice.
where I can give out clothing and food to the families. 'Cause I
Hmm.
believe in order to help the children, you got to be willing to help the whole family. Because unfortunately, mama problems is the child's problems too, because we carry it when we go to school. If you are a child that lives in the system, or a child that lives in poverty, you're used to bills getting shut off. You're used to coming home and not having food in the refrigerator. You usually have littler ones, so you have to go without to make sure your brothers and sisters have enough because you can be hungry, but they don't know the
That's right.
difference.
That's right.
So all of those things are on our minds just as well as they are on our parents. So we worry, am I going to come home and have an eviction notice? Are we going to be able to get in the house? Am I going to come home and do we have the lights on so that I can cook us some noodles or whatnot?
Wow.
So you think about those things. So as a kid, people think that we don't see it, but we see it and we carry that too. So I believe in order to help the child, you have to be able to help the whole family. So that's why I give food that is catered to kids that they like, just in case the parent is not. The kid could be able to make their own hot dog. They'd be able to make them a bowl of cereal or a cup of noodles or open some can of beans. They'll be able to do that versus pack of chicken, but I do give a pack of chicken, but that's for the whole family. So I believe you have to help them all. So I would like to be able to find businesses and apartment buildings that I can partner up with that can give people second and opportunities for jobs, for housing. I would like to be able to start with the kids because I think if I can get to the kids, they'll go home and they'll talk about what I'm doing or teaching them, and then the parents will follow.
Nice.
And then
I like
when they
that.
come, they'll be open to hear what I got to say, and versus me trying to convince them what I got to say. I want you to want to hear what I got to say
Yeah.
because now you'll listen. So if I get to the kids, they'll go home excited with what the information they learned. And
Now,
with
I thought I heard that you're partnering with a couple of schools or
So I do. I work with a couple of schools. Well, I have worked with a couple of schools. Canyon Junior High. Um, um, oh
I'm going
goodness.
to cut you off guard. So no
And there's
worries, no
another.
worries.
It's on the north side. And I'm sorry, Miss Jen, because it is your school.
You can't remember the name of it. It's okay. It's all good.
But yes, there is a couple. So I like to work with and partner up with Title One schools because they're in underprivileged, low income areas. And that way I'll be able to make sure I'm catering to the community that is in the need of the help versus just to people in general.
Okay.
Not saying everyone don't need the help. It's just that right now those are the kids that I'm kind of focused on.
So tell me, how can the community help you with the No Children Left Hungry mission? What can we do to help your mission?
So I am always looking for donations for food, clothing. I'm looking for other nonprofit organizations who have the same mission or like my mission of mine, that's working with kids that can help me grow, get known and out there recognized. But I'm also needing help with getting my 501c3 through the IRS. I have it through the state of Nevada, but I do not have it with the IRS. So from what I was told, is it would be easier if I could connect and work with another nonprofit organization that has already
We got you,
established.
girl.
So that's been my really biggest hiccup. I do the finances by the grace of God, so but that will allow me to be able to hopefully do more, and get that building. Someone want to donate a building?
Now, you just put it in the universe.
I did.
You just put it in the universe. So I no telling what can happen from just that
But
statement.
no, my real dream is to teach kids financial literacy.
I love
I
that.
think that is something that's very vital and needed. And I mean,
How
all children.
how are you with the stock markets? Do you know anything about investing in
I
stocks? And
do. I do know about vesting in stocks. I know a little bit. I am learning about crypto, but I think that is a new way. But yes, I love stocks. Like I tell everybody with stocks, you look for things that are in trend right now. So natural oil, natural gas, unfortunately
But she's
cannabis.
not giving any stock advice. She's
No,
just
I am
saying.
not. But you want to look at things that were what's going on in the
Right. I
world.
heard you loud and clear. I heard you loud and clear. These are her opinions and her thoughts on what you might want to consider, but she's not
But do
giving any
your
finance.
research. Do not just go off of me
Yes.
or anyone else who says they are knowledgeable about stocks. You have to do your research. That is the really, really bottom line. Is do your research and be in there for the long haul.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick short break
All
because
right.
I want to talk about the other side of you. So I'm super
Oh.
excited. When we return, we're going to come back with Janiqua talking about her business.
Live streaming on social media is the best new way to interact and bond with your community. Do you love to encourage, motivate, and empower others, but you do not know how? Well, your opportunity starts with us on social media shows. We have 20 shows a week live streamed across the globe, with a reach of over 80,000 and growing. So you can host your own show, and you can be anything you want to be. So let's bring the community together, and let's bring the world to you. Join us now.
Hi, I'm Latoria Kern, founder and executive director for Family Arts at Whalers Creation. For us, family means foster, adopt, mentor, investing in lives of youth, and arts is the job training we provide youth. Please join us every Friday at 3 o'clock on the YouTube Whalers Creation channel because we're interviewing local business and professionals from Las Vegas and all across the United States. Join us every Friday at 3 o'clock for Famversations. You're listening to Famversations, conversations with local businesses and professionals from all across Las Vegas and the United States. Famversations, foster, adopt, mentor, investing in lives of youth.
So we're back with Janiqua Whittington, who is the owner. We already heard her entrepreneur side, her philanthropy side when she's starting her nonprofit. So we've learned a little bit about her passion, what she's doing, what she's giving back to the community, what she's feeding kids. Now, there's another side of this young lady that I'm super impressed with. She is an entrepreneur, business side, savvy, smart, and she just started on 5006 South Maryland Parkway, a beauty salon, a beauty supply store that's called All Shades of Beauty Supplies. So we wanted to give her lots of love, supporting her in every way that we can. And let's find out, like, how did you come up with this amazing idea and how's it going?
So they go hand in hand. I didn't want to go back to work. And so I told the Lord, if you want me to continue with what you have me started, what idea do I have written in my book that can generate enough money to take care of me and my family as well as the nonprofit? So
Does that mean that you journal every day?
No, not every day. But if I have an idea that I think or I really like, yes, I do. I write it down and I put the idea concept down. And believe it or not, this one I actually wrote down. I didn't have the name, but I did have it drawn out. So, and I just knew that it was going to be a natural beauty supply store because 3 years ago I went natural.
I didn't know that. So that's what your business is.
So
natural.
I am catering to natural beauty. So when I did my research to open, Nevada is the second largest state in interracial families and interracial marriage. Number one is Honolulu. But
What?
Nevada is the second largest state in interracial families and marriages.
I did not know that.
So being that, and I seen it in the medical field, You get a lot of different families, and we're kind of right there too. And by the so you do see it here, a lot of interracial. So that's the reason I went natural. Noticing in the medical field when I was there, a lot of family or mothers would ask me about their children's hair type or their children's hair. Or when we do our hair, then they ask us questions about it and ask us if we do, other children's hair. And I have had the chance to do a couple of other patients, nationality kids' hair. So I know that the need was here. So my thing was, so I had asked them what idea, and once again, I'm always praying. So I go to sleep and I'm in my dream, keep circling to this beauty supply store. So I said, okay. So when I woke up, I opened my phone and I went to Facebook, and there was a black lady on there promoting how to open up a beauty supply store with $5,000 to $10,000. And I was like, huh, here we go again. All right, I'm gonna roll with it. So I clicked on it, got her information. She was charging $29.99 for the blueprint. She said it was just a little clipping, but
It was
so
a lot.
I paid for that and I followed it to a T.
And here you are.
And here I am.
So tell me
90
about
days
your
later.
products, because you have a hairline as well as hair products. So tell me a little bit, and even fashion.
So I do carry Coach and Dooney purses. They are the real thing, authentic.
Okay.
I order them directly from Dooney and Coach themselves online. So, and then I have human wigs. So I either have their full human, 100% virgin human hair. And I have them anywhere from 6 inches to 30 inches.
Oh my.
I do also carry synthetic mixed hair as well, and I carry that the same way. It goes anywhere from the short hairdos like bobs all the way down to 30 inches. Right now I have 26-inch wigs, curly and straight. That's and the hair is really good to be a synthetic. It's a high fiber synthetic mix to where it almost feel human-like. And they are lace fronts as well. And then I have like black castor oils. I have shea butter. I have coconut
I
oil.
use black castor oil.
Yeah, and I have vegan hair oils. I have Alake, Miel, Aunt Jackie's, Shea Moisture, Cream of Nature. And so I try to find a lot of even our old school products
Like the hair breeze.
are coming
Like taking it really old school.
Yes, I have the crown, the crown
I see it.
So yeah,
Take me back to my little girl days.
yeah, but a lot of those products actually work on our hair really well. And they're better than some of the newer products because a lot of the newer products have alcohol in it, which alcohol is something that
It dries
will
your hair out.
dry and
Yeah.
break our hair out. And then not only that, being here in Nevada, the humidity is so harsh and so dry. You need the extra oils and shea butters and coconut
Exactly.
oils,
'Cause I
not
was-
only just for your hair, but for your skin too.
Yeah, I was just telling you about my family is one of those blended racial families, and I have a son whose all hair is always drying out because of the weather here.
Yes.
And so I was asking you earlier about what good moisturizers we can use. So you gave me a lot of good
Yep.
tips. I'm looking forward to getting some things.
Yep.
So this is my new beauty supply store.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
How did you pick this location?
So I lived in this area for the last maybe 10, 12 years. And it is a low income, underprivileged community. But my kids went to Del Sol, so this is that general community and area. So I can't be at two places at one time. So when I decided to open up the beauty supply store, I said, well, how are you going to continue to do your nonprofit and run a business? That's not going to be possible. So
She's a bad mama jamma.
so I pray again, and I ask her, how am I gonna do all of that? Because everyone's saying, Shay, you can't do all that. I'm like, I know, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna
Look,
figure
Steve
it
Harvey
out.
got 10 jobs.
So
he looks like he's doing pretty okay.
that is correct.
It's okay to have more than one job. You know, if your
Yeah.
hustle is strong and you got that strong work ethics, it's
Absolutely.
perfectly okay to have that multiple job stream coming in, because it's whatever it takes to make you the success that you want to
That
be,
you want.
and on whatever level you define as success.
Absolutely. You have to put whatever you do, you have to put the work in,
That's right.
and that means no sleep. But it gets greater.
Little, because you gotta sleep.
Yeah,
Do not think that you can do this.
No,
and
you
not
gotta
sleep.
listen to your body. When your body tells you to lay it down.
Absolutely.
But it is real. It's a constant work. So I always tell people, when you go into business for yourself, just like you would have woke up that morning and be like, oh, I don't want to go to work. But you'd be like, oh, I need that paycheck. Work. Your business is that
Absolutely.
same way. So you
Absolutely.
have to have that same mindset. So I tell myself, if you don't get up, who's going to pay you? Because you don't got no check coming. So, so I got to get up, you know. So I couldn't do both at the same time. So I said, well, how can I kill two birds with one stone? I served underprivileged communities with food and clothing. So I said, why not open in an underprivileged community? That way, all of my events that I do, or if I give away food, if I do anything, it can be given from my store, and I can still serve the communities that I'm
It's a great
designed to
marketing
be able
concept.
to serve. So that's what I do. So since opening, we done our first year we have a called a Angel Christmas Tree Toy Drive. So I have one every year. I did do one the first year.
Okay.
And then the first year we gave out like 75 to 80 toys to children. And what I do is every child that I feed all year long is guaranteed a toy. So only way that this is the one event I don't go delivering for. They do have to come and pick up.
Very good.
But for food and clothing, I will deliver it. But for that event, they have to pick up. Because whatever is not taken, I then give out to the community, to the kids who's in the community.
Okay.
So in that way, I can serve the community is in need. I can make sure I take care of the kids that I've been taking care of all year that was in need. And I get to be able to do everything. I don't have to tell anyone no. I hate saying no.
And here's another way that you can support. So for her Christmas drive that she has every year, we're at 5006 South Maryland Parkway. So if you want to donate a toy, make it an unwrapped brand new toy.
Yes.
Don't bring no used toy to give
Yes.
away to a child. Make sure it's a new toy and it's unwrapped so that they can inspect the gift that the kids are receiving.
Correct. Yep, because I don't wrap them for them either. I let them see, and they get to pick. So I do. So that's something I did last year, and it's this in the year before. So we did that December 18th is usually when we do it. I give out food and clothing twice a month. So all you have to do is call.
And what number should they call?
702-470-3247.
And do that again. Because as soon as you say, what number you call, you say that number, people are like, oh
Trying
my
to get a
God.
pen. Yeah.
I don't have a pen, wait a minute.
So you
Repeat that number
you
again.
can call Monday through Friday between 8 and 5 at 702-470-3247.
Okay.
Okay.
We take donations year
Yes,
round.
all year long.
You don't
Yes,
have to
we
wait
do.
to Christmas
No.
because she's supporting and helping young people with children every single month. So there's always a need to give and support the work that she's doing. So listen, I've had a wonderful time talking to you today.
Thank you. I had a wonderful time, and I thank you for
Thank
having
you.
me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to getting my hair products from you.
Yes, yes.
And continuing to get to know you a lot more and
Okay.
supporting the work that you're doing. I love what you're doing.
I appreciate that, and I look forward to that too. That's been, like I say, that's all I've been asking for is for him to bring me the right people with the like mind and to be able to help me grow and open doors that I haven't been able to open for myself.
Precisely.
So I am excited and I look forward to the new opportunity and the partnership.
Hi, I'm
Ever.
Latoria Kern, founder and executive director for Family Arts at Whalers.
Absolutely.
This has been Famversations, where we sit and talk to local professionals from Las Vegas and all across the United States. We have been honored to meet with Janiqua
Hmm.
Whittington, who is the owner of All Shades of Beauty Supply and the founder of No Children Left Hungry. I told you it was a tongue twister.
It is a tongue twister. But yeah, they're welcome to also go on my website if they want to know more about me. You go on www.nochildrenlefthungry.org. And you also able to donate through that website if you like. We also keep it updated with our events and upcoming events. And you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram at nochildrenlefthungry.org or All Shades of Beauty Supply. And I post on there all the time too, all the events and different
Love
things that we're
it.
going to be doing or doing at the store.
Love it.
So
Thank you, Conversation Nation.
thank you.